Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're diving into a topic that could literally change the way you think about relationships. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you were doing everything right in a relationship, yet somehow things just didn't work out? Maybe she pulled away, maybe the connection faded, or maybe you felt like you lost yourself in the process. Well, here's the truth. There are certain things you should absolutely never do for a woman if you want to build a strong, healthy, and lasting relationship. Don't worry. This isn't about being controlling or disrespectful. In fact, it's the opposite. This is about understanding what actually builds attraction and respect and what slowly destroys it. These lessons come from research, expert advice, and yes, even real-life experiences. And by the end of this video, you'll not only know what to avoid, but also how to show up as your best self in any relationship. So let's get into it. Here are the 11 things you should never do for a woman if you want a good and happy relationship. Point number 1. Never blindly accept everything she says. Look, when you're head over heels for someone, it's easy to just nod along to whatever they say. You want to keep the peace, avoid conflict, and show you're supportive. But here's the problem. When you agree with everything, you're not actually creating a real connection. You're just playing a role. Think about it. If you never share your true thoughts, how can she ever really know you? A healthy relationship isn't about one person always agreeing. It's about two people bringing their honest perspectives to the table. That's where trust and closeness come from. There's an old saying, happy wife, happy life. Sounds nice, right? But studies actually show the opposite. Couples who respectfully challenge each other and share their real opinions have much deeper and happier relationships. If you never stand your ground, you'll come across as too nice. Not the strong, self-aware partner she's looking for. It's like being a statue, always there, never moving, but eventually boring and predictable. So speak up. Share your thoughts even if they're different from hers. Argue when needed, but do it maturely. That honesty is what builds a real connection. Don't confuse blind loyalty with love. Real love requires honesty and respect. Point number 2. Don't idolize her. This is a trap so many guys fall into. You meet a beautiful woman, she seems perfect, and suddenly you put her on a pedestal. You treat her like a goddess, someone flawless who can do no wrong. You shower her with compliments, gifts, and endless attention, hoping she'll see how much you care. But here's the reality. When you idolize a woman, you're not really respecting her. You're worshiping an idea of her, not the real person. And more importantly, you're lowering your own value in the process. Women want to be admired, yes, but not worshipped. Deep down, they're attracted to a man who is confident, grounded, and strong on his own. If you constantly elevate her above yourself, she'll eventually lose respect. She'll see you as unworthy, as someone too needy, someone who doesn't bring his own strength to the table. At first, she might enjoy the attention. Who doesn't like compliments? But over time, it feels shallow. And when she loses respect, attraction quickly follows. So what should you do instead? Appreciate her, care for her, but never lose sight of your own worth. You're a valuable prize too. A relationship is about balance, masculine strength and feminine grace working together. So yes, value her, but also value yourself. Stand firm in your beliefs, pursue your own dreams, and never forget, you are just as worthy of admiration as she is. Point 3. Show your true masculine self. This one's powerful. Since ancient times, women have been drawn to men who display courage, decisiveness, and strength. That doesn't mean being aggressive or domineering. It means standing confidently in who you are. But that's what happens in today's world. A lot of guys suppress their masculinity because they think it might upset others. They tone down their confidence, hide their opinions, and try too hard to be sensitive. Here's the truth. When you hide your true masculine energy, you're robbing a woman of the very thing she's drawn to, your strength, your authenticity, your courage. That's what creates attraction. So don't be afraid to express yourself. Speak with passion. Share your vision. If you disagree, say it respectfully. If you have a goal, pursue it boldly. And when challenges come, face them head-on instead of avoiding conflict. When you embrace your strength, you invite her feminine energy to balance with it. It creates a natural, magnetic connection. a dance of harmony between the masculine and feminine. So stand tall, my friend. Be proud of your masculinity. That's what she's really looking for. Point number 4. Avoid hasty commitments. This is a big one. When you first fall in love, everything feels magical. You want to lock it down, make it official, and prove your commitment. But here's the thing. Rushing into labels or long-term promises can actually hurt the relationship. Why? Because real love takes time to grow. Trust and connection can't be forced. They have to be built naturally, step by step. If you rush, you risk smothering the relationship before it even has a chance to breathe. A strong man doesn't cling to a woman out of fear of losing her. He trusts the process. He knows that if it's meant to be, it will grow on its own. So be patient. Let the relationship unfold. Don't show desperation by rushing into commitments. Instead, show confidence by letting things progress at their natural pace. That's far more attractive than trying to lock her down too quickly. And remember, your independence is part of what makes you desirable. Don't give it up just to feel secure. Point number 5. Don't let yourself be manipulated. Now listen closely because this one is absolutely critical. Some guys think avoiding conflict makes them a good partner. They keep quiet, let little things slide, and ignore behavior that bothers them, just to keep the peace. But here's the problem. When you allow yourself to be walked over, you're not being kind, you're being weak. And weakness is the fastest way to lose a woman's respect. A strong relationship needs boundaries. If she crosses a line, disrespects you, or tries to control you, you can't just shrug it off. If you do, you'll eventually become resentful, and she'll start to see you as less of a man and more of a doormat. Women don't want a guy who kneels just to keep affection. They want a partner who respects himself enough to say, "No, that's not okay." So if she tries to shame you, threaten you, or disrespect you, speak up with confidence. Stand tall. Remember, you teach people how to treat you. If you allow manipulation, it will continue. But if you set clear boundaries, you'll earn her respect, and her attraction will actually grow. Gentlemen, this is non-negotiable. Never let anyone manipulate you. Respect yourself first, and she will follow. Point number 6. Don't overdo the compliments. Okay, let's be real. Compliments are great. Everyone loves to hear that they look good or that they did something well. But here's the catch. Too many compliments, especially superficial ones, actually kill attraction. Think about it. If you're constantly telling her she's the most beautiful, the most amazing, the most perfect woman in the world, what are you really doing? You're seeking approval. You're hoping she'll give you validation back. And women can sense that insecurity instantly. At first, she might smile and enjoy it. But after a while, it feels fake, repetitive, and needy. Even genuine praise loses its meaning if it's thrown around too often. Here's the secret. Compliments are powerful when they're rare and sincere. Tell her she looks amazing when she's actually made an effort. Appreciate her for something unique, something you truly notice. That way, your words matter. Because here's the truth. Women are far more attracted to confident men who don't need to flatter them constantly. Show her through your actions and energy that you value yourself as much as you value her. When you stop handing out endless validation, she'll start seeking yours instead. Point number 7. Don't overwhelm her with texts. We're living in the digital age, and texting is one of the easiest ways to connect. But here's where so many guys go wrong. They overdo it. Constant messages, rapid replies, endless, "What are you doing?" texts. And trust me, nothing kills mystery and attraction faster. When you text too much, you're basically saying, "I have nothing better to do than sit around waiting for you." And that is not attractive. Women are drawn to men with purpose, men who are busy building their lives, chasing goals, and moving forward. If you're glued to your phone, firing off messages every 2 minutes, she's going to feel smothered. At first, she might like the attention, but soon, it gets boring. You'll go from intriguing to annoying real fast. Instead, be intentional. Text to set up real dates. Text to share something meaningful. But don't become her entertainer 24/7 through a screen. Save the deeper connection for when you're face-to-face. Smart restraint makes you far more attractive than constant availability. Mystery keeps her curious. So let your phone be a tool, not a trap. Point number 8. Don't overlook warning signs. This one is tough, but it might be the most important. When you're in love, it's easy to put on blinders. You ignore the red flags because you don't want to lose her. Maybe she disrespects you. Maybe she crosses boundaries. Maybe she shows toxic behavior. But you brush it off, telling yourself, it's not a big deal. But here's the hard truth. If you accept the unacceptable, you're digging your own grave. Every time you let bad behavior slide, you lower your own value in the relationship. And little by little, you teach her that it's okay to treat you that way. Love should never come at the cost of your dignity. If someone disrespects you, ignores your boundaries, or constantly hurts you, it's not love, it's control. And the longer you stay, the harder it gets to leave. So don't fall into the trap of excusing everything just because you're afraid to lose her. Real strength is knowing when to walk away. Yes, it might hurt in the short term, but in the long run, you protect your self-respect, and that's worth more than any relationship. Gentlemen, please remember this. A woman who truly loves you will never force you to compromise your dignity. 9. Learning to walk away builds respect. Here's the truth. When you walk away from things that don't serve you, people notice. And believe it or not, they actually start respecting you more. Why? Because you're showing them you're not desperate, you're not clinging, and you value yourself enough to say no. Think about it. If you're always available, always saying yes, and never setting boundaries, people will eventually take you for granted. But the moment you show them that you are willing to walk away if they don't respect your worth, the dynamic changes. Suddenly they have to rethink how they treat you. Walking away doesn't just remove you from bad situations, it sets the tone for how others approach you in the future. And respect, once earned, is far more powerful than approval. 10. Walking away leads to growth and transformation. Every time you walk away, you're creating space for growth. You're leaving behind a version of yourself that tolerated less than you deserved, and you're stepping into a stronger, wiser version of yourself. Walking away is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter. You're proving to yourself that you can evolve, that you don't have to remain stuck, and that transformation is possible. Think about all the times in your life where leaving something behind felt terrifying in the moment. But later, you realized it was the best decision you could be made. That's growth, that's transformation, and that's the power of walking away. 11. Walking away proves inner strength. Finally, let's bring this home. Walking away is not weakness, it's strength. It shows that you're in control of yourself, that you're not chained by fear, and that you believe in your own worth enough to move on. Strength isn't always about fighting harder. Sometimes real strength is the ability to say, this isn't for me, I deserve better, and I'll find better. When you walk away, you're not losing. You're showing that you're strong enough to trust yourself even when the road ahead is uncertain, and that strength is what builds character, resilience, and unshakable confidence. So here's the takeaway. Walking away is not about giving up. It's about knowing when enough is enough. It's about valuing your peace, your dignity, and your future, more than clinging to what's comfortable or familiar. Every time you walk away from something that doesn't serve you, you're walking towards something better, something that aligns with your worth, your values, and your growth. So the next time you're faced with a tough situation, ask yourself, am I staying out of fear, or am I staying out of strength? Because if it's fear, then maybe, just maybe, the most powerful move you can make is to walk away.